What an unbelievable first 2 weeks of the NFL season, and fantasy football players are losing their minds right now. Injuries are piling up. Coaching tendencies from what we thought we were going to see in the preseason have changed, and player roles are always evolving. So your fantasy football waiver wire work here for week 3 needs to be impeccable. We will have our articles over at fantasyalarm.com from Andrew Cooper, where he'll give you the must-haves, the stashes, as well as the streaming players that you're going to need to watch. In the meantime, this video here is going to give you that preliminary look, give you the players that you need to know after what we saw in week 2 as we head into week 3. So let's get everything started here, and we begin at the quarterback position. Number 1, Sam Darnold, Minnesota Vikings. Yeah, I can't believe it either, but Darnold, another efficient outing from him, 268 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. He's not being asked to chuck it downfield at all, but he's still able to. A couple of good throws over 20 and 40 yards, but he might have lost Justin Jefferson, but he's still been nicely efficient here, and he's got some other weapons that he can use. Number 2, Derek Carr. The supportive ground game and the West Coast style of passing is definitely helping him out. He has a 76.9% completion rate through his first 2 games. Not to mention he's been super efficient inside the red zone. And then we just got word here, Bryce Young being benched in Carolina in favor for Andy Dalton. And we know Canales likes a run-first scheme. Dalton can still be a good quality game manager, and he's got great weaponry at his disposal in Adam Thielen, Deontay Johnson, and even some of the field stretchers like Xavier Legette. At the running back position, number 1 target on the waiver wire in week 3 is going to be Samaje Perine. We'll splash in a little Carson Steele also from the Kansas City Chiefs. Isaiah Pacheco headed to IR with a fractured fibula, likely out for at least 4 weeks, possibly even more. Perine's going to take the lead. He gets the passing work. We know that. Carson Steele probably in short yardage situations, maybe some goal line work. And then there's also CEH, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, eligible to return week 5, but we'll worry about that when we need to. In the meantime, Perine, if you need a running back, is your lead target. You can also look at Bucky Irving from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We're bringing him back again to this article. Once again, more efficient and better yards per carry than Rachaad White. White also tweaked his groin, so he might be limited, which opens the door wider for Bucky Irving. And we already know Todd Bowles said he wants to ride that hot hand. And so far, it's looking like Bucky heating up more. And finally, at the running back position, Khalil Herbert from the Chicago Bears. Listen, DeAndre Swift is more of a pass-catching back. He is not an efficient runner. Herbert can handle the work between the tackles, and he already stole a touchdown for this past week. Might be a deep league find, but Khalil Herbert should be warranting your attention. At the wide receiver position, we've got a couple of them. Andrei Iosivas from the Cincinnati Bengals. 2 touchdowns this past week. He's sliding into his role nicely. He will see a reduction in targets once Jamar Chase is at full strength and T. Higgins returns, but he still needs to fall into that Tyler Boyd role, so the targets will be there throughout the season. Quentin Johnston from the Los Angeles Chargers caught 2 touchdowns this past week. He's starting to look like he's more of a factor in this passing attack. He's looking good on contesting catches, and the team needs a field stretcher to stand out. So maybe Quentin Johnston is your guy. Jalen Nailor, Sam Darnold's favorite target here, not named Justin Jefferson in Minnesota. Another touchdown gives him 2 in 2 games, handles the slot work, and might see an increase in targets if Jefferson is out. Also, Josh Reynolds from the Denver Broncos. Another decent day of targets from him. He caught 4 passes for 93 yards. Team's looking for someone to step up and gel with Bo Nix. Reynolds definitely has more reliable hands than, say, Greg Dulcich, who had a couple of drops in a very disappointing effort. And then finally at the wide receiver position, Jalen Tolbert from the Dallas Cowboys. He out-targeted everyone with 9 this past week, caught 6 passes for 82 yards, and the team needs somebody to step up opposite CeeDee Lamb, and maybe Brandon Cooks isn't it. Finally, at the tight end position, Colby Parkinson. Pay attention to him from the Los Angeles Rams. Another injury to Cooper Kupp with the ankle. That means Demarcus Robinson and Tyler Johnson are expected to see an increase, but so will Parkinson, who should see more than just the 2 targets he got in week 2. And then finally here, Luke Schoonmaker From the Dallas Cowboys, Schoonmaker. Either way, he saw 6 targets taken over for the injured Jake Ferguson. Should continue to see that tight end lead work. And we know that Dak likes to hit his tight ends inside the red zone. As always, take a look at the Fantasy Alarm articles for the waiver wire from Andrew Cooper. This is just your preliminary work. Let's get you ready to dominate week 3 coming up.